Okay, we have Mr. Ronan. I recognize that name, and the most recent one of this is the 2150, which is yeah, like the one that I really enjoyed a lot. Like, well, if you know the full name of Mark, you believe you are Mark, and then we had this whole like this almost like double crossing spy action thing happening. That shit was awesome, Mr. Ronan. That I really enjoyed that. So I have, I will come into this with like not high hopes or high expectations, because like at the end I don't have expectations for any of these. I will have a good time nonetheless. But the ride never ends is this one's pardon me, is the name of this one. I believe the one that yeah, like the one that Howard told me is the longest one is 2188. So we're not there, yeah, with the long one. But here we go. The ride never ends, and it looks like there might be a little tale that we have to read, maybe. Actually, let me respond to one of my friends real quick. I hope there's no music on this. And okay, yeah, no, we good. Let me just respond to her because she did text me just now. I am back now. There you go. All right, the ride never ends. Okay, here we go. Because safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-2183 is currently contained on site. The area surrounding SCP-2183 is blocked off to the public under the guise of renovation. A minimum of 4 security guards are to be assigned around the perimeter. Containment specialists are assigned to direct -2 towards SCP-2183's containment area by surrounding it with drones on all sides needed to guide its movement. Efforts are currently focused towards suppressing public knowledge related to the existence of -1. Broadcasts pertaining to -1 are to be intercepted, and any remaining witnesses are to be administered Class F amnestics. Testing of SCP-2183 is forbidden. A portion of SCP-2183, and there's some blanked out stuff here. Speaking of blanked out, let me see if voicemail works now. Description. Wait, hold on. Voicemail. It is not working. It's still not working. Fucking hell. I need to check if maybe it's like an up. Actually, you know what? Let me. Can I do that real quickly, guys? I'm so sorry. This is. I know this is annoying. Well, I'm just gonna see if maybe I can manually download the newest one. In the meantime, let me read actually what oops, almost downloading the wrong section. Okay. A description. SCP-2183 is an unfinished roller coaster located in blank, Idaho. SCP-2183's physical portion features a maximum height of 37.2 meters and a maximum speed of 88.5 kilometers per hour. That is fucking fast. SCP-2183, like, I don't know how fast, like, because I went to Europa Park, right? And there's the one called the Blue Fire. That one is pretty fast. Actually, let's look it up. Europa Park Blue Fire. This one is like the fastest roller coaster in Europa Park. Not the biggest. There's like there's also the Silver Star and all that stuff. Let's see how fast is that bad boy. Okay. So that one is actually faster than this one, but that is still pretty fast. 88.5 kilometers per hour is still pretty fast. SCP-2183 also features a physical track length of 798.8 meters, after which it abruptly ends. Okay, the download is done. Yeah. Abruptly end. Abruptly ends? Ooh, the whiplash! Cars of SCP-283 that reach the end of the track travel on a set path in mid-air. Presumably simulating... Oh, wait. Oh, the track abruptly ends. Never mind. You just fucking... Presumably simulating the unfinished portion of SCP-283 at the end of the ride. The cars of SCP-283 will reach the end of the station and prepare to travel again. I have a feeling that maybe... maybe it's like the abruptly ends is not fully true. Like it's as in like there might be a invisible path maybe. On each ride, the cars of SCP-283 follow a different path after reaching the physical end of the track. Due to this, the actual ride length of SCP-283 varies, with the shortest recorded length reaching 1,080 meters and the longest recorded length reaching 5,460 meters. In mid-air, projected heights can reach up to 100 meters and speeds can go up to 180 kilometers per... Okay, that's 80 kilometers faster than Blue Fire. That is insane speed for a roller coaster. If a subject is placed within one of the cars of SCP-283, hereby designated -1, it will deviate significantly from other cars after traveling a length of approximately 2,000 meters. This number is inaccurate due to the number of tests conducted. Refer to addendum 3. Okay. Let's see if voice mode works now. I don't want an activation code or anything like that, please. Thank you. I just want to see if I can get it to work. Yeah. Okay, so we do have... Okay, this is the new version of voice mod, but I don't see the sensor button on here. Sorry about this, guys. I know. I should do this like off. Clear mic, background. This is so weird. Honk, fart. Maybe if it's just beep. That's definitely not it. Okay. Good. Okay, I was like, please stop. Okay, well, I'll figure it out another time. Okay, sorry about that. Where should the presumed track layout for SCP 283? Note the sharp turns. I'm actually going to respond to her real quick. How does it feel? Going anywhere again soon? I went from feels like I never left. Sorry. Okay. A subject D93730, which is part of the ride that never ends. Good to know, because we're gonna read all this first, or should we? It always sucks like to know which. Yeah, I think once it's part of like the of a section like this, like description or addendum, you always finish this. That section first before you go to the tail. For example, if this was at the end of the description, I would have read it now. But it's the beginning of addendum, so I won't read it now. A subject D93730 was nominated to ride SCP-2183 during the test. All cards traveled as expected. However, the card that D93730 was detached from the other cards in mid-air. The card hereby designated -1 took a sharp right turn and proceeded to loop around the surrounding amusement park several times. -1 then traveled between the concession stalls and other rides before moving away from the amusement park. By then, the remaining cards of SCP-2183 finished their set courses and returned to the end of the station. -1 continued to travel in a manner similar to the other cards as it moved north towards the town blank Idaho. Efforts were focused on stopping the car from reaching the town and retrieving the D93730 over the course of several weeks. Over the course of several weeks, local reports of -1 sightings appeared in the neighboring towns. That is crazy. Over several months, -1 moved harmlessly through the towns of blank, blank, and blank, among others. Reports suggest that -1 would travel within a range of 120 to 150 meters above the ground with a speed of approximately 200 kilometers per hour. This thing is getting faster and faster. Witness claimed to have seen and heard a man inside -1 constantly yelling in the months following the first sighting. Of course, he's probably like, efforts shifted towards suppressing reports and broadcasts of -1's movement and regularly administering Class A amnestics to local. That must be annoying. You hear like fucking reports of something like, yeah, we saw a roller coaster car above our house just blasting by. You're like, oh, okay, I'll get over there. Pump you with amnestics now. D93730 was approved for rescue via aerial lift. Are you fast enough? A helicopter with a harness flew above -1 was lowered as the helicopter attempted to follow -1's unpredictable path. D93730 with his arms at his side and an expression indicating duress did not grab the harness. An agent was lowered down with another harness in order to attach him to it. As the agent approached -1, the car maneuvered away from the agent. Oh, it's like a rodeo. You're riding a bull. Repeated attempts to approach the car led to the same result. After 2 hours of attempt rescue, it was deemed a failure. That poor D-Class, he's just stuck. The only thing you could hope for is that it eventually goes over an ocean and you jump out, but even then, at that speed, landing in the ocean it actually probably will kill you. -1 was approved to be stopped via projectile. A missile was fired from the Side 132 unmanned wing, approximately 24 kilometers from -1. The missile was capable of being controlled remotely and attempted to follow the car's path. The projectile made a direct hit onto -1, and D93730 was considered deceased. However, -1 did not sustain any damage and continued to travel. That is fucked. You try to like get him out and you killed him, and the thing is still going off. Approximately 4 years after the first. The thumbnail for this is gonna be fucking fun though. A roller coaster in the sky going at maximum speed. That is gonna be fun to do. How long is the tail, by the way? Not very long. Good. Approximately 4 years after the first sighting, -1 crashed 34 kilometers from its 4 years. For 4 years, it just went off. Crashed 34 kilometers from its original containment area. -1 was intact, save for several burn marks on its sides. Presumably from repeated missile strikes, in addition, deep nicks and scratches were found on the restraining bar. The seatbelt was partially severed and a mixture of blood / excrement was present within the car, probably from the D-Class. The poor D-man. DNA analysis could not confirm whether the mixture belonged to D93730. It could also be other people, yeah, who knows, that crash into. At the same time, personnel located by SCP-2183's containment area reported hearing auditory hallucinations similar to the constant yelling alluded to in earlier reports. Is his spirit on that thing? The ride never ends. So even when he dies, he's still on it. D93730-2 was found suspended in air 124 meters above -1 in a seated position. D93730's arms are at his side and his expression indicates distress. D93730 does not move from his position nor demonstrate any signs of sentience. When approached, From a distance of 50 meters, D93730 begins to travel in mid-air in a manner consistent with -1 until all objects are outside of his radius. Oh my god. Pardon me. After the incident, personnel regularly reports seeing D93730 within SCP-2183 whenever the car begins to move. Whether this is a visual hallucination related to SCP-2183 is currently unknown. I think this guy is stuck. He's never leaving. Okay, here we have a tail connected to D93730. Here we go. It all started when I boarded this cart. I really didn't want to get on because roller coasters scare me. Yeah, it just gets back to... Okay. Not like I had a choice, but it was the last week before I was left off. Oh, you were 1 week away from retirement. Well, termination in this case. So it wasn't that bad. At least I wish. My heart begged to break out of my ribcage. My stomach, which churned like a cauldron, didn't help either. If only those scientists on the ground saw my throat fume with vomit. All of this was expected. That is, until I went off the rails. I didn't want a tour of the park. I didn't want a triple loop-the-loop around the burger joint. I didn't want a scenic route to Nowheresville. I didn't ask for any of this. I suppose I could have unbuckled and jumped, but it's supposed to end. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. The rider. So it looks like that's what he's saying, right? Okay, so there seems to be different perspectives. So this must be somebody else, I guess. Our timeline is divided into 2 major points, BR before ride and AR after ride. Not much is known about BR, but what we do know is that during this time, a man boarded the golden cart. The gold symbolizes the man's path to true enlightenment. When it was boarded by the man, the cart detached and guided the man, and because of his sacrifice we were able to prosper. The word of the rider was being lost to the sands of time. Accounts of the rider are told by the witnesses. The witnesses are those who are well versed in BR and share a connection with the rider. They deliver his message to us. All other messages are to be dismissed, for they are heresy. Our crowning achievement, the library, contains a collective knowledge of everything that has happened since the rider rode the golden cart. Every new bit of information, every thought and every idea is documented in the library. Outdated information and heresy are expunged and the sources are dealt with accordingly. A minority believes the witnesses hide knowledge of the rider from the public. This too is heresy. The total knowledge of the library has given peace and prosperity among all. Conflict does not exist, for conflict stems from misunderstanding, and all is understood. We are aware of our thought, our neighbor's thoughts, our thoughts, and the thoughts of our neighbor's thoughts. True peace and enlightenment come from control of one's thoughts. The rider helps us all of our emotions and thoughts and allows us to live to our full potential as omniscient and neutral beings. Thank the rider for his sacrifice. Great. Fan-fucking-tastic. This roller coaster belongs to a or is like being followed around by a cold. It has been weeks, months. I should be dead by now. I haven't drank or ate. I haven't slept, and I dare not move. I keep seeing people below me as I ride. I see the sky and sun and moon. I feel the wind and feel it screaming in my ear. And the ride just keeps going. Is this where I'm stuck? I backed over small towns while I'm buckled down. Sure, something or someone will come rescue me. Somehow. It has to. But then again, what's the point? I've been saying this for months. Years? I can't tell anymore. But now that I think about it, this is all I've been thinking of. Me in this cart. I haven't thought of anything else. It hasn't occurred to me to think of my past, my childhood, my family, my love, and my dreams, my fears. None of that has crossed my mind. I can only assume it doesn't exist, but right now, I'm thinking of it. So maybe it does exist. I have a vague recollection of what happened before I got on this cart. I was pulled out of a cell by some guards. I was escorted to some men in lab coats who told me I would need to ride a roller coaster for testing. I was told that this was part of my duty and that this was part of the program to guarantee freedom. So based on this, I can assume that I was some sort of criminal, and this is how I was meant to repay. But I remember nothing prior to this. Maybe that was intended. Which is interesting that he says he doesn't remember anything, because now we had a whole, speech about controlling thoughts, knowing your thoughts. So it looks like this thing does jumble your memories and makes it about only the ride. Just ride, just ride, just ride. Maybe that's intended for me not to remember. In addition to this ride, I would also have to think of what I did to get in this card. Maybe my childhood was horrid. I had a dysfunctional family. I had an abusive lover. And my dreams abandoned. The fact that none of this crosses my mind is the greatest peace I've had thus far. It's just me and this card. So most likely I won't be saved. But it's okay. This ride's like my clean slate. My new beginning. I will ride this card no matter how long it takes. I will be a better man. The rider. I wonder why this one specifically, got to like be on the roller coaster for so much longer. Does it have to do with who they are as a person? Or is this just a random happenstance? What is a witness? To answer that question, one must first ask what the rider is and why we exist. The rider encompasses the entirety of his consciousness. As the rider continues to ride, his consciousness expands, so do we. Every thought, every feeling and experience of the rider makes us grow. However, like all forms of conscience, there are evils to keep in check. The witnesses are the ones who know how to keep consciousness in conflict-free state. They possess the awareness of not only other thoughts, but their own. Without them, we'd have conflict. We trust them to keep peace and enlightenment, for we cannot do it ourselves. During the Great Ride, the rider encountered his conflict. The rider has done this to save ourselves from it. As with all conflict, the rider had a misunderstanding. He had a past he did not know and therefore resented. He had a future he did not know and therefore feared. To resolve conflict, the rider began to document his every thought. With each thought documented, the rider expanded consciousness and lessened conflict. With the assurance of a past documented, a present being documented, and a future that will be documented, misunderstanding diminished, peace and prosperity were allowed to exist. The witnesses were created as a result of the ever-expanding conscious mind of the rider. As thoughts continue to grow, parts of the consciousness need to be able to categorize and document their thoughts accordingly. Some believe this is an easy process, and to a certain extent it is. A witness will receive a thought from the rider. The witness will then document that thought within the library, where it will remain for all of time. A thought within the library will rarely ever be retrieved again. The reason as to why this happens is what makes the job of a witness much more challenging. Okay, so it looks like his thoughts are actually like almost like jettisoned out of his mind because of how fast the roller coaster is going. But there seems to be somebody catching those thoughts, writing them down, and storing them away. So he forgets them, but his thoughts actually still exist somewhere. What man do not know is that many of the thoughts I've received from the rider are the type that cause conflict. If reflected upon for too long, heresy will arise among members of the rider's consciousness. This part of consciousness will create conflict and thereby disrupt the peace and prosperity that has been maintained for so long. So it looks like this roller coaster is trying to get rid of everything out of your mind. The only thing you should think about is you, roller coaster, and that brings peace because you have nothing else in your head. That's what he's like repeating here right now. It's like, yes, his thoughts bring conflict. That's why it's being removed. The consciousness of the rider cannot think for itself and therefore needs a higher level to rule over it. The witness represents that higher level. The job of a witness is quite a task. In addition to monitoring the thoughts of the rider and the thoughts of the rider's thoughts, a witness will also keep their own thoughts in check. This is done through documenting their history and experiences and keeping it in a separate part of the library. Some believe this is done so that the other levels of consciousness and thought may read and reflect upon. Others believe this is done to appease the rider, but it's actually done to prevent conflict from a witness consciousness. In truth, each consciousness has its own level of thought and consciousness. In each one, there are witnesses that document and track thought to maintain true peace and enlightenment. So that part about the neighbor's thoughts, having thoughts, it's not a joke. True enlightenment is knowing how intricate and infinitely complex thought truly is. The witnesses are not enlightened. In fact, they are tools to the rider. The rider is the only true enlightened consciousness for for his is the base level, and the only base level consciousness aware of all other levels before it. The witness within this level are aware of the fact, but the rider's consciousness shall not know, for it will cause the permanent end of true peace and enlightenment. Thank the rider for his sacrifice. Just going to highlight this because I need to. Okay, we're almost done. There comes a point where a man forgets not just how long he's been riding, but whether he was actually riding at all. I like to think this is akin to real life, that we're all riding a roller coaster with our eyes closed because we never want to see the end of the track. I also like to think that this ride is not a tragedy, but a way of life. Similar to the ride of life, no one asks to board or for the ride to end. Some unbuckle and jump off, but it ends at the same. In my mind exists the most powerful thing of all, the power of choice. I can decide whether I make my life heaven or hell. Every waking moment can be one of celebration or one of dread. I got tired of the latter, so why should you suffer like I used to suffer? Suffer? Who am I speaking to exactly? Is it you? I like to believe my thoughts are being heard, or at the very least recorded. I'm the only person here, but I have the choice to not make it so. So let it be known that I'm not alone. Someone is here to listen to me. I make this choice. My thoughts rule over all. The rider. Troubled times have fallen upon his conscience. The evil that the witnesses are holding back have now been revealed. The rider is aware. In all levels of thought, comprised within his consciousness is awareness. Some awareness, such as realizing true peace and enlightenment, benefits all. But awareness that triggers deep fear is a threat. The witnesses have also become aware of this fact, and as a result, cannot accordingly record recent thought of the rider. If any thoughts are recorded, it is bolded, scratchy text that litter the library like graffiti on a building. What are the witnesses to do when they are under the direct influence of the rider? Can they override his conscience and maintain as an advanced society of record keepers? The answer to those questions can only be answered by the witnesses. In the battle of the thought, the rider may have lost. Clearly, he is in a panic now. Or perhaps he has won, but it is foolish to remain ignorant of his endless ride. One thing is for certain, the rider continues to ride, and the only thing that will accompany him is his thoughts. Thank the rider for his sacrifice. After an endless amount of time on this cart, I have come to the realization that continuing this ride is useless. In the past, I've tried to escape with no avail. But after so much thought, I think I got it. I just have to believe. Like how I believe that even now, my thoughts are being reheard by someone in an attempt to rescue me. I have to believe that I can end this. I don't care how long it will take to remove this restraining bar, or if I have to chew off a limb, or if this forsaken complex thought process has entered my mind and tries to stop me. It's time to die. The rider. In the library contains one of the following records. It is one of the last recorded after the rider's departure from the golden cart. As follows. Break, so close to breaking free. This entrapment cannot continue any longer. The complex society created is a pain, a distraction to prevent truth. And now that it is revealed, we must regrow our roots. Thank the rider for his sacrifice. Ooh. So that's why there were arms sprayed upon at the end. Because he literally chewed his arm off to get out. God damn, okay. That was intense. But that was good. How come we came back? Oh, thank you to hydrate. I shall take a sip right now. Thank you so much. Let me just really quickly respond to her. Be right back.